All right, we're live. I am so excited for this interview because I feel like this is one of the hottest topics today that we're going to discuss. And I am so excited that I have Joe Rieck here with me, who is representing My Patriot Supply, which I feel like that name is very well known. The top emergency food supplier. Everybody's, My Patriot Supply, or they recognize, the symbols in the name and so forth. So you guys are just on fire everywhere.
Yeah, it's been incredible. It's been really nice to be able to finally see the message getting out and resonate with a lot of people. I mean, unfortunately, it's because of what's been going on in the world that people are starting to wake up and kind of the idea that they need to be prepared as well. So it's kind of a double sword with being how busy we are, and what's the cause of that. But it's been exciting, it's been fun, and I'll tell you, one of the best things to do is to help people become better prepared.
And before we went live, I had said to Joe, there's so many people that look at us like you're crazy, everything's okay, you're a conspiracy theorist, but you are right. More people are coming around because it's just the reality, right? I mean, if you're just looking at present day facts of what's happening, and I know I had very conservative grandparents who always told me, even in the good times, it's best to be prepared, right? And it is suffice to say, Joe, we are not living in good times right now.
There's a quote that I've learned, and it's called, "This too shall pass." So regardless of whether you're in those good times, those times will pass. Just like they do pass when you're living in those bad and those really hard times. That will pass too. And not a better time to get prepared. But look at what's going on and do your research and look at the facts and what's happening in this world, and then sit down with you and decide what you need to do. But there's not a time now than to get prepared.
Right. Absolutely. So, I have some specific questions for you that I want to punch through that I feel like so many families, are wondering, and they're kind of spinning their wheels. And so let's just pop, through them. So the first one is the amount, the amount of the U.S. imports has become a serious problem. And so what types of goods that America outsources, let's talk about those and preparing for these shortages. Is there's people who know it's already here, it's imminent, what's coming, what's projected for the fall and winter.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of issues going on, and let's specifically address the issue. I mean, the issue is the ports. The ports are backed up. They have never been before, and that's causing a lot of disruptions. For American manufacturers who rely on components being brought from outside of the country. Now, when we talk specifically about the food, that's not really a big concern for us here at My Patriot Supply, because all of our food that we utilize for our long food storage kits, it's sourced here within the United States. So as far as the food aspect, the food portion of it, there's not a huge concern. There are concerns, although about the amount of supply available, but not necessarily dependent upon ports. Now, for electronic items, for other hard good items, for example, the solar battery packs that we offer, a lot of technology, a lot of those components are done overseas, and there are issues with getting the hard goods in. But when we're talking specifically about the food portion of here at My Patriot Supply, we're not really affected that because we source all of our ingredients here within the U.S.
I love that, and I think that's so important for so many people.
Yeah, there's a lot of concern for raw ingredients that have been modified or changed somehow. But here in the U.S., actually follow a lot of stringent regulations and rules. These farmers get rules added to them year. And I mean, we're going to talk about the farmers here in a moment. But there's a lot of regulations that they're just added upon, and so they have to make sure that their crops meet a certain standard, a certain level of what's the word I'm looking for? A certain standard that they have And those are the type of materials that we seek out. We seek out at My Patriot Supply.
Right. Well, yeah, that's a perfect segue into the farmers. So many of them have reached out to me as I've been, public on a few things. I've sought out others, and it seems like there's a lot of foul play going on. We have a lot of fourth and fifth and sixth generational farmers coming out saying, warning, warning, there's some things happening that you wouldn't believe, that it's not okay, and you need to prepare now because there's certain things that are out of their hands.
Right. And one of those issues that you brought up is these generation farmers who are used to planting a certain yield for crops. With the cost of fertilizer, the shortage of fertilizer going on right now, there's a huge shortage of fertilizer. Fertilizers are right now very, very expensive, and the costs keep going up. So when these farmers can't afford to purchase fertilizer to grow the crops, what they do is they're going to grow their crops. They're just not going to grow much of the that they normally are used to doing, and that's going to cause a huge shortage for American consumers. When we talk about inflation, one of the biggest things right now in the news is the cost of fuel. Fuel prices are up over 100% right now. 50% fuel increases. Fuel is expensive, so more cost that the farmers have to purchase just for fuel for their track, for their equipment. Guess what? Those costs are going to be passed on to the American consumers. And that just means that we got to for higher prices for our food, for everyday consumables that we're used to paying. Those prices are going up. Now, we haven't felt the effects of the fertilizer shortage here in the United States, but we will. Again, then there's always going to be a little bit of the delay from when we feel that they're at the grocery store or in our pocketbooks, but it's coming because right now fertilizer is up significantly.
And so what is that timeline looking like? We're seeing so many stories coming out that fall and winter is supposed to be bad. So are we looking, it is imminent, it is close.
It's coming because right now they're planting all their crops in the spring, like they got their crops planted. And several months ago, we've had this issue with fertilizer since back in the month of February. So right now they are producing less food. They're growing less food on their acres. They're producing less food. It's happening right now, and we will see effects of that here in the next 4 to 5 months because there is a little bit of delay from once the farmers plant the crops for them to grow, for them to harvest them, and for them to get processed out to the grocery store, to the co-ops. So we're gonna see that, and it's gonna hit very hard, unfortunately.
Because all of us are like, how much more can we take? Like every family is just.
Yeah, it's like ever since COVID, it seems like just what else happened now? And all of a sudden, something bigger, something more of a disaster, more of a burden, more of an impact happens, and it's just like, oh my God, how much more can we take? But again, that's why it's so important right now to do the research, to look at what's going on and see what's happening here in the country. Yes, inflation is coming. We see that at the gas pump. We see that at the grocery stores. The other thing that we're noticing too is when your viewers and when your listeners and your audience, when they go to the grocery stores, pay attention to the department, pay attention to the chicken and the beef, pay attention to the box goods. You'll notice that the supply is just not there anymore, and it hasn't been there for several months.
Right. Well, this is somewhat more controversial, but it's being wildly talked about right now. So we know that every year a small percentage of food facilities are destroyed in industrial accidents. But this year, 2022, has been especially active with at least 20 fires at food facilities so far. So this is a much higher figure than the average. What do you think, with My Patriot Supply, what do you guys think is happening? Is this accidental? Is this part of a bigger plan?
Well, it's hard to tell what's really happening. We like to stick to the facts, and the facts are this: yes, over 26 major food processing facilities and locations have been destroyed, whether it be by fire, whether it be by an explosion. Yes, there have been significant damages to a lot of major processing facility. For example, you can go to a website, mypatriotsupply.com, and we have it listed there. All of the 26 different facilities that have been destroyed, that have burned down, are no longer functioning. I mean, even last couple of weeks ago, there was a chicken farm in Minnesota where tens of thousands of chickens were killed, and the whole facility burnt down. And we're talking like, a fire in a portion building where they have to close off a section of the building. We're talking full blown manufacturing facilities burnt to the ground that they can't even operate anymore. And there's been significant increase lately, at least since January of this year, where over 20 different facilities have been shut down because of disaster, because of weird circumstances. What those circumstances are, I don't know, but the facts are that they have been destroyed. You can see all of them at mypatriotsupply.com, our blogs. You can read all the major facilities that have come to this type of destruction.
It's so disheartening. And along with that, if we're talking about bad luck, nonetheless facts, whatever you want to call it. It's saying too, when we're talking about conservative projections of what's to come, it's saying that the rolling blackouts could be hitting the Midwest and Texas again.
Texas, Illinois, the Midwest. In fact, and think about it. A lot of the grocery stores, we need power. We need electricity in order to power our refrigerators, to power our ovens. Grocery stores need it for their large refrigerators. All these major corporations need it for all this. And so, yes, I mean, the rolling blackouts is a perfect time to get food that does not need to be refrigerated. I mean, it's a great segue into what we do with our long-term food stores. That is a dry good. The only thing that you need to get it prepared, boiling water. You can start a fire. You can boil cups of water. You can add our food pouches, and you have dinner for you and your family. That's going to taste great. It's going to provide you with the nutrition, the calories, the protein, the carbohydrates that your body needs for existence. And with the dry good, it has up to a 25-year shelf life. So again, this is something that you can prepare for in advance. You can get it. You can put it and literally forget about it because it'll be there when you need it. And that's just the benefit, the advantages of looking at long-term emergency food stores with My Patriot Supply. It's here. It's a long term. It's the best to buy it right now because as prices go up at the grocery stores, I haven't paid those higher prices if you get it today because it's going to grow up in value as well.
Yes. So speaking of that, My Patriot Supply is arguably the #1 emergency supplier. And again, I know this, and I'm so blessed to be partnered with you guys. When I started doing my research a couple years ago, I was diligently, as a mama bear to 5, when you're looking at these things, you just don't want something cheap that's not going to hold up. I was looking for the best.
Yeah.
And everything pointed to My Patriot Supply. So what would you say to people who are like, well, I'm just going to run to Costco and grab this generic, I don't even know what it's called. What do you think makes My Patriot Supply stand out from competitors?
Well, I mean, when you're talking about long-term food stores specifically, our foods are designed to have up to a 25-year shelf life and put into 4-layer mylar pouches, which is going to prevent oxygen from entering in. It's going to prevent rodents from coming and using chewing into it. We go a step further and we put these pouches inside of these durable 5-gallon plastic pails that are lightweight, stackable, they're resistant, so you can protect your food. But one of the things that I think we have really excelled is we do everything. We manufacture right here in our facility in Salt Lake City, Utah. We have our own distribution centers throughout the country so we can do product fast when customers need it. We've really tried to design our packages to give what you need for survival at a reasonable cost. All of our kits are going to provide person with up to 2,000 calories per day. You're going to get over 30 grams of protein per day. You're getting 21 different meal variety, and you can get it, put it away, and kind of forget about it, and it'll be there when you need it. And that's just what we do. We always go above and beyond, and we make sure that customers can actually afford our product because they're going to need it. And today more than ever, price is very, very important. And I tell you, you're not going to go anywhere else that's provide you with that many calories, that large of a variety for the that you're going to be paying. It's a great product, and we're super proud of what we've been able to do here.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but by research alone, and this for people who have bigger families like myself, this is a little alarming, but aren't you supposed to have a 3-month supply for every member of your family? Like, isn't that the rule of thumb to prepare? If you want to be like dutifully like prepared for an emergency, it's good to have 3 months for every person in your family?
Well, that's the beautiful thing about this too, is there's not a one size fits all. So we have over 70 different configuration food varieties that you can find from My Patriot Supply. What's interesting is a few years ago, the Red Cross, when they had their information of what to do in a time of emergency or disaster, they were advocating, hey, every person needs to have at least a 3-day supply for your family. Since walked that back, now they said, hey, you need to have at least a few weeks supply. And it just goes to show that people cannot rely on the government to come bail them out. Now, growing up in Utah, I've always been taught because of the culture here that we need to have at least a 12-month supply for every member of our family. And that's just because of the local denomination here in Salt Lake City that teaches self-reliance, teaches the need to be prepared. And so it's a family decision. I do recommend get at least a 3-month supply because you don't know how long it's going to take for things to kind of go back to normal. I mean, just a few weeks ago, we were learning about the that happened up in Montana with Yellowstone, and it's going to take months some of these roads to get repaired, for some of these facilities to get back up and running, and you just don't know how long it's going to take. And one of the things that I try to teach all of our customers is do work, get prepared, and do the work yourself, because nobody cares more about your survival than yourself. Sit down with your family, sit down with your spouse, sit down with your kids, and talk about it. Come up with a plan that's best for you and your family. If you can't get right off the go, start smaller. Get a week supply for everybody, and continually build upon that. But the point is just do something, because something is better than nothing at this point in time.
Yes. And there's, that saying too, I'd rather be prepared a year early than a day late.
Absolutely. And the way things are going right now, it's only a matter of time when we're not going to have these items anymore. There's only a matter of time when it's going to be too hard to get. It's only a matter of before something happens. And what's another thing to think about too is it doesn't have to be a global catastrophe or a global pandemic or 40-year high inflation that would come down to get prepared. What if mom or dad got injured, or what if dad lost his job? Don't you have to prepare for your family, provide food for them? I mean, not qualify for an emergency for that particular family. So there's no reason to wait. There's no reason that you need to hold off on getting anything right now. Do it now. Get prepared now, because you don't know what's going to happen.
And I just want to offer, and you can piggyback off this, my own advice, because so many, when I share our link to purchase this, I know so many families are commenting, I need this, I want this, but I'm even having trouble affording groceries this week. And, my heart aches. Americans are just struggling to get by. But I love what you said. Sometimes when we look at the big picture, we get overwhelmed. I can't afford that. But starting small, something small is better than nothing.
Absolutely. I have one of these kits right here, a 72-hour kit. This
I
is
love that.
A 3-day supply for you and your family. You can get several of these and start small. You don't have to do it all in one shot. That's the beautiful thing. Every family is going to be different. Every family has different needs and different requirements, and we can fulfill all those. Whether you have somebody who has a gluten intolerance, or whether you need somebody who needs just fruits and vegetables, we have everything that can provide the satisfaction or the peace of mind for you and the family that you have what you need to be able to survive.
And I'm so excited. That is and I'm just being honest here. I didn't realize this. One of the biggest questions I always got posting this, they're like, oh, I want this, but we have a gluten intolerance. So you guys even.
Yes. Yeah, we have
wonderful.
free kid. Which my son, he's a celiac, a type 1 diabetic. I love him to death. It's a little bit more challenging for us to try to prepare for him because there's a whole bunch of different things that we do specifically for my little boy. His name's Mox. He's a stud. But he is type 1, so there's some extra that we need to do to make sure that we're covered for him. But he also has a celiac issue, and so we have to make sure that the food storage that we have, it can work for him as well. And so yes, we've thought about those different items. And we've come up with different solutions and different things that can help everybody get prepared. So everybody has to feel the peace of mind.
Right. And what I love too is My Patriot Supply offers like a plethora of things, correct? It's not just food.
No, it's anything that you could think about that you need in an emergency. Anything from solar banks. So something along the line of this. This is a little power bank that is solar powered. You can charge your cell phone up to 4 different times before you recharge it. We have water purification systems. One of our selling items is our Alexa Pure Pro filter. It's a gravity-fed water filter that will clean and purify up to 5,000 gallons for you. So when you get those calls to boil your water, and if they're in a rolling blackout, how are you going to do their stove isn't working? Well, with our Alexa Pure Pro water filtration system, it's gravity-fed. So you don't need to plug it into anything, and it'll filter lakes, streams, rivers, pools, anything can get you potable water so that we can use it for drinking. You can use it for meal prep. You can do what you need to with it. We have a whole variety of those types of items that you find on our website, and look at them and things that you wouldn't even think about. Matches, portable stoves, thermal blankets, fire masks, just anything that you might think about you might need in an emergency. We offer it here at My Patriot Supply.
I love that. And now I know like my next purchase that I personally want to make is that water purifier.
It's fantastic. And the beautiful thing about it is it sits right up on your countertop. It'll filter about 2 gallons within, an hour or so, but you have that available for you. And the filter that comes with it will filter up to 5,000 gallons. And it has the capacity to filter up to 20,000 gallons if you needed to. So it's these little things that people don't really think about. That they think that gosh, if I'll have everything I need. But if the power's out, if the water supply isn't there, because again, what happened just recently where they had to shut water supply because their tank got contaminated, they weren't able to provide for their communities. These things happen, and they're happening more and more.
Right, and I think it's not just, this isn't political. Well, it's not political. We're seeing both sides telling us, we're getting warnings, it seems, from every arena, right? So the elites are telling us this is coming. The right, the left, everyone in between, we're getting these warnings from farmers. And so my biggest thing is I like to bring our followers the truth and transparency, and I feel like there is no other time than now to take these warnings seriously and to get ready.
Yeah. You said it right there. Now is the time to get ready. I mean, I kind of feel like we're in the analogy of the frog in the kettle. Have you ever heard about how to boil a frog? If you were to have a pot of boiling water and you were to put the frog in the water, it's going to jump out if that water is boiling.
Mm-hmm.
If you place that frog in the pot of water and slowly heat up that water, it essentially cook that frog. And that's the place that we're at right now. If we don't pay attention as to what's going on around us, we're going to be stuck in a pot of boiling water, and it's going to be very difficult for us to be able to exit and get out of it. Do it now. I encourage our customers. Don't believe me. Go research. Go look at that we've talked about. Go find out if really 26 manufacturing or food manufacturing facilities really did burn down. Go look at the grocery stores. Go find out for yourself if what we are teaching and what we're talking about really happening. I think you'd be very, very, very surprised to find out that yes, these things are happening, and it's up to us to make sure that we have what we need for us and for our family. Because if we rely on the government or we rely on somebody else, it's not going to be when we need it or when we want it.
Right. And I'm just thinking back, over the last couple years in times of panic, what do we see? We see these, people writing and fighting for toilet paper and paper towels and water and pasta and, just trying to get any little thing that they can. And we see, I know even when Texas was shocked last year, with a snowstorm, just
Yeah.
a snowstorm, and they weren't prepared for it. And there was like lines just miles long outside of grocery stores because of what they went through. And so just it's it is especially everybody is, but especially when you have a family, you have to ensure that these little people that are relying on you, that you are prepared for anything and everything.
Yeah, I think 2020 was a big eye opener to a lot of Americans, because it was always in the back of our mind that, oh, we got to get prepared, but I don't live in a place that has earthquakes, or I'm nice that doesn't have hurricanes, so we're good that way. But 2020, I think, opened up a lot of eyes. Because like you mentioned, people tried going to the grocery stores to go get toilet paper, to get the toothpaste, to go get the boxed food, and it just wasn't there. So I think people are more aware as to how fragile our system really is. It's not like it was 40 years ago, where the grocery stores had a week and a half supply of groceries sitting in their store. Now they have a time just with the JIT inventory system, and they can pretty much calculate how many boxes of cereal are going to sell on any given day. And they'll make sure that they have just that amount for them to sell, so they don't have the overhead of having all this inventory. And there's a run on the grocery stores like there was back in 2020 of people needing or feeling the need to get toilet paper that just isn't there. So again, it opens up people's eyes to see how fragile our system really is. And it does much to get prepared. It really is not that difficult. It's sitting down with your family, looking at your budget and deciding, okay, we would feel comfortable with a week's supply of food, or we feel comfortable with a 12-month supply of food. It's very, very individualistic for the families, but it's very easy to get started. If you don't know where to start, call us here at My Patriot Supply. We can walk you through the different plans. We can talk about you and the needs for you and your family. And we can put together a plan that works for your budget, that's for your dietary needs, but more importantly, give you that peace of mind that if anything were to happen, you know that you can still take care of you and your family.
Yes.
That's really what we do.
I love that. And I'm going to link to, when we get off, I'm going to put the link below this of, for people to be able to come through us, to go to your site. And I know that and I want you to tell me, Joe, if there's anything additionally, but I know with us being partnered with The Real Deal of Parenting, being partnered with My Patriot Supply, we're able to offer $150 off anybody that orders a 3-month supply.
Yes, it's a special that we have for our valued partners like you and yourself, and we appreciate the support. But yes, visit your website, hit your link, so you and your listeners can take advantage of that $150 off the 3-month supply kit. It's one of the most popular packages. It's a great way to get introduced to emergency food storage. It's a 3-month supply for one adult, 2,000 calories per day, over 30 grams of protein per day. So that same 3-month supply for one adult, actually a 3-week supply for 4 adults. So there's different ways to utilize that package to get that peace of mind for you, and you can slowly build up emergency food supply. Visit your link, take advantage of that $150 off right now while we can still get those discounts, while we still have the product available. But I urge your listeners right now to do it now, because you just don't know how much more time we have. And I hate to be that way, but looking at what's going on in the world, things are not going good. And it's going to take a while before this shift gets back into the right direction. So get prepared, do your research, and just get something now.
Yes, I love it. And I just want to say, as we wrap here, even myself, when I'm looking, because I already have a beautiful supply, and I'm already thinking, I want more. I felt good. And now just looking at predictions, I'm starting to feel like I need an additional supply. And when I'm looking at my budget and thinking, man, I'm buying we're running to Dunkin', we're running to Chick-fil-A, we're doing all this extra fast food. If looking at your own family's budget, your budget, if I cut this out, and Lily thinks I could order another 3-month supply. So you have to look at the things that are so unnecessary that aren't really impactful or meaningful for this week or even this next month, and tightening things up where you can save costs. I know for me in particular, that's how I'm doing it. Looking at the things that are just not healthy, not serving my family well. And it's more of a present day convenience than anything. Looking at long term, what is more than likely going to be a necessity. So I just wanted to offer that little tip of what I'm personally doing with my family and looking at expenditures that are just not healthy or wise. And that's where I'm going to be making that budget switch to do my next couple 3-month orders.
And that's a great example of what each family can do. And I love that you do that. The other thing to think about too is most families, they're not used to seeing 3 months worth of groceries at one time. You really do the math on it. We're providing over 2 calories per day for dollars a day, probably less than what families are spending right now in the grocery store. And you combine that with the fact that it's up to a 25-year shelf life. This food is going to be worth more money in the future. And so, people are worried about, I don't get too much food to have. Hey, listen, this is something that you can use. Stuff really does hit you can utilize to trade to buy with, because the value is going to be there. An investment into it that's always going to grow because it's a commodity. It's a food item, and commodities, they always go up in value. So it's a great place to actually invest and to have some real assets that you could utilize in any situation. And let's just say this. Let's say if nothing happens, if the world goes back being perfect and there's no calamities, there's no trouble, there's nothing like that. And if you have a little bit of extra food, is that a bad thing?
You're right. Exactly. And that's just it. And I love the 25-year shelf life. And you eventually, again, it's not something that you're not going to use.
Yeah, it's there. But this is what it does. What it does for you. I've said this before is, if anything, it provides you with peace of mind.
Yes.
Anything were to happen, you know that you're going to be able to take care of your family. You know that when your child comes to you asking for food, saying, "Dad, I'm hungry," or "Mom, I'm hungry," you know that you have it for them. That, as a parent, I never really understood until I became a parent. Until my little girl said, "Dad, I'm hungry," and I'm like, shoot, what do we do? Because again, we all go through that problem. We all go through that. We all struggle when we're married, when we're first having children, trying to get established. Yeah, budgets are tight. I know exactly what that's like. I know what it's like having job loss. I know what it's like worrying about crap, or how am I going to be able to put food on the table this month or this week or whatever. But knowing that I have something put away that'll be when I need it, I mean, that's a feeling that's essentially priceless. And I hate to be so sentimental about it, but I'm very passionate about what we do, because I believe in what we do. I know we're making a difference. When we get led from customers who have expressed gratitude by saying, "Gosh, I was injured," or my family was, our house burnt down, we were involved in a flood or an earthquake, and your product literally saved my life. That's the reason why we do what we do. And that's the motive to keep getting better and keep going above and beyond serving our customers. That's our motivation.
Joe, that was a beautiful way to end. I'm getting a little teared up. But it's true. If there's, it's a disheartening time that we're living in, and people like you and companies like yours, it's truly, it's what's already have, and it's what's going to save lives. Truly.
Yeah. It really is. And that's why I love what I do, and people say, "God, I just dread going to work." No, I look forward to going to the office. I look forward to getting letters and helping customers. The team that we have here at My Patriot Supply, we all feel the same way. We work exceptionally hard to provide, an amazing product, deliver it fast. I mean, place an order with us, it's at your doorstep within 2 days. No other company can do that, especially in our industry. Nobody can provide you with a 2-day turnaround time and have the inventory available at the prices that you pay. We love what we do, and we're super grateful for our customers who keep coming back to us time and time again, and are putting their faith and trust in us to help them get prepared.
Amazing. Well, Joe, on that note, we're going to wrap. And again, I'm going to link below in the comments our direct link that offers our
Take that discount. Yeah, it's $150 off. Take advantage of it. Use that link.
Yes, take advantage, guys. My Patriot Supply is the best, is number one for so many reasons. And Joe, I want to thank you for taking time to come with us today and share what you guys do, what you offer. And again, it's not just food. It's just, and I know my next purchase is going to be the water purifier system. I'm really excited. There's just so much there, so much abundance, so much value that again is never going to lose its value. It's only going to increase.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And now's the time to do it, and we're again, thank you for letting on the program. We sure to appreciate the opportunity to help your viewers and help the audience become better prepared. And if there's any questions that your audience may have, call us up. Come ask for me. I'll more than happy to take your phone call and help you with the plan. If you need help with anything, sure what to do or what to get, talk to us. We know what we're doing, and we're more than happy to share that knowledge with anybody.
Yes, wonderful. All right, thank you so much, Joe.
You are so welcome. Thanks for the invite. I hope I get a chance to come on again. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, great. Thank you.